What's up? What it do, cyber world? It is your girl, the one and only Ash Said It, AshSaidIt.com, AshSaidIt.com, babies. Welcome back to the Ash Said It Daily Podcast Show. I appreciate all the love and support you guys continue to show me. It's just overwhelming. I love y'all to pieces. Everybody on a global scale that has been supporting your girl. Shout out to Ashburn, Virginia. Y'all been holding your girl down for the last year and a half and then some change. Y'all never miss a week. I appreciate it. I do. I love y'all to pieces. Too. So y'all know that I always bring through some really awesome guests, some people that you just never know who's going to come through to the show. So today I have famed chef Kenneth Temple. Chef Kenneth, what's up?
How you feeling, baby? I feel like I need to say my baby since you said baby when you came in. So I just want to jump in on that.
Go ahead, get it in there.
I just want to get on in there, get my swag surf on, How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Chef?
I'm doing great. I mean, there's actually a tropical storm in the Gulf right now. So New Orleans is getting this little lashing right now, but everything's all great. Everything is great.
Yeah, I think we're getting a little bit of the offset of that because it was pretty gloomy here in the A-Town and it's been raining all day. So, I guess that's
what y'all getting is definitely not what we getting. So.
All right, Chef Kenneth, let everybody know where you from, where you represent.
New Orleans, Louisiana. Born and bred. They have not let me escape yet, but I am plotting an escape eventually, just to continue to grow the brand.
Absolutely. All right, Chef Kenneth. So, when did your fascination and inspiration start with the culinary arts?
Well, my story is a little different. I didn't grow up with grandma's hip in the kitchen and on the stove. My first introduction to the kitchen, I was about 3 years old, and my dad still does baking, but he was about to bake something. He put me on the counter. I was his little mini sous chef, and I used to help him crack eggs. After about that, probably about 8 years old, I got a book from the library about omelets, and I was pretty comfortable with eggs, so I used to make omelets. But after that, I was like everybody else doing Thanksgiving holidays, like, break me off with a piece of dinner roll, what a gumbo egg, can I get a little bit of that dressing? So it wasn't until the back end of my senior year in high school that I decided to go to culinary school, which is, I went to a regular college, but one of the majors is culinary school. It wasn't just a special school.
Right.
And then once I got into the kitchen, then that's when I found my natural vibe and feel within the kitchen, and I just stuck with it ever since then. So I've just been pursuing it.
Okay, cool beans. So at what point did you decide, you know what, I'm really loving this. This is really what I want to do for the rest of my life. This is my passion.
Today I still think about leaving out and going through something else. Let me tell you, being an entrepreneur make you think a lot of different thoughts. But it had to be in this particular point in school. Like once you're into like your second semester within the program, there's a section where the teacher, he calls each student over individually and lets them know if you're in the right field or not. And he told me, well, Kenneth, it's no doubt that you belong in the kitchen and you should pursue it. So with that motivation from a teacher who I know is a nutcracker, to say the least, and make sure that he gets the best out of his students, for him to say that about me. And I'm not going to say I'm winging it, but I'm kind of, when things are natural to you, you kind of just feel like you flowing. You're not, you thinking because you processing new information, but the comfort level is very high. So I'm kind of coasting, and when he gave me that compliment, it was very good. And then another point when I knew, okay, let me run with this, we had went on this retreat, like a bunch of seniors, for during the holidays. And this was basically the dean taking a few select seniors to his summer home in Michigan somewhere, which was snowing, completely frozen lake. So much for having a summer home. And we had a rotation of students where some would cook, some would clean, some would just enjoy. And it was our turn to cook. And when I sent out this particular dish, I remember the dish like it was yesterday. It was a stuffed chicken breast with crawfish and tarragon. And when I tell you, when it hit the table, like everybody's partying. I mean, look, we got bottles of wine. We floored. And when I tell you, when this dish hit the table and everybody took that bite, the whole crowd shut up. Now, I thought that was like a bad thing at this point. I'm like, damn, like nobody really enjoying the food. But then as they started chewing it and then it started going on, it was like, wow, that was pretty good. So even to the point where I surprised them, they knew I was a threat. But they didn't know I was this bad. Boy, they went to asking the other chef who was with us, and he was like, man, that was really good. I'm like, nah, Kenneth made it. When they said Kenneth made it, they all shut up. And I just waved. Yeah. So when you can make your peers humbled at your presence and your performance, then that's when you know, okay, I should really do something, because the students that he selected to go was the top students in the program. Right. So if I can make everybody who's in the top, of my peers shut up when they eat my food, then, as Kendrick said, sit down and be humble. But he wasn't saying that back then, and you just go ahead on and just continue to pursue it, and that's led me on an awesome journey.
Absolutely. Wow, that's a pretty awesome story. Definitely something to share with people and allow people to understand the severity of your skills, sir. Like
you know what I'm saying? And my collegiate days was pretty interesting, to say the least. Mm-hmm. I just really recently started sharing this story because it's something that happened. Things happen in your life, you hold it to your gut. Yeah. But I ended up getting suspended from school my freshman year in college because I was in my own little world. Mm-hmm. And so I had to get suspended for a year. But when I made it back into college, I finished in 3.5 years. I ended up making an honor roll, making the dean's list, setting history and becoming the first black homecoming king in Nicholls State University history. So one time I get kicked out of school is for something dramatic. Then the next time I end up making history on the path. And once you get back and get focused, and even to the fact of my first semester back from school was cool. Then the second, that was spring 05. Then my second semester back, Hurricane Katrina hit. So Katrina actually woke me up and allowed me to realize I need to focus. So that's how food ended up becoming my salvation. And that's when I started getting into the culinary program curriculum. And then that's when the growth started from there. And, just took it a lot more serious. And just been running with it since then.
Cool beans. So as you graduated, you got your certifications, they give you that title. You a chef. You are officially a chef. What were some of the challenges that you faced?
Thinking that you're official and that you're a chef. And when you go to a restaurant, you start at the bottom. It's almost like when you're a big dog in high school, right? You're a big dog senior. Mm-hmm. Once you get into a new campus in college, you're a baby again. All those accolades don't mean nothing. So it's getting into your realm and your peers. And the restaurant I went work at, it wasn't one of the top restaurants in New Orleans, one of these John Bechtel Emeralds, but it was a small, popular chain restaurant that was just growing from the grassroots here, and it's still much successful. And people who came from culinary school to work this job had been failing because they went in with the big dog attitude, and they end up getting hit with that pressure on the line and crumbled. So they actually drew me to the wolves at the hardest station, second hardest station, because the main one was the grill, and of course the grill, they could get smashed all day, but they drew me on the second hardest station and told me, let's see how you do. If you handle this well, then you do good. So I actually end up showing my talent and my passion on that line to working up to being one of the top chefs who they hired for off-site catering gigs for this company. Like literally anytime they had an off-site catering gig, I was the guy they called, and another supervising chef, and also being in charge of management of cooking all of the main ingredients at this particular restaurant. So I went from just being a college student on the line working the hot app station to working off-site catering gigs and producing all the money makers. Like if I buy something, the company was losing money. So that's what happened. And then, you got to kind of realize your position. And I always knew that I was bigger than this particular spot, but it taught me a lot about systems, organizations, and getting people to follow what you want to follow, aka buying into your dreams and your goals to help you accomplish them. So that's one thing I definitely learned there. And while I was there, I ended up meeting this guy who was cooking for Chris Paul and Reggie Bush at the time, who was actually... The chef was a patient of my uncle, who's a doctor, and he had asked me, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, I want to be a private chef. And he said, I got the guy. And I'm meeting this guy who was cooking for Chris Paul and Reggie Bush at the time, when we ended up meeting and vibing out. And about 3 months after that initial meeting, he called me and said, well, one of the harness players at the time is looking for a private chef. Are you interested? I said, give me the name and the number. And
Right.
so once he gave me that, I went from making $9 or $15 an hour on the line, depending on which job I was doing in the company, to making $1 million and making $75 an hour.
Mm.
So
Wow.
you know which one I picked.
Okay. And see, you jumping up into it, because the next thing I was going to jump into was, what was the catalyst for you starting your business? But it's like, it seemed as though as soon as you started to really believe in yourself and your talent, then that's when everything would you say everything kind of came full circle for you then?
Yeah. Everything came back. It's amazing what the mind can do for you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a famous bar that Common said on one of his albums, nobody will believe until I believe in me. Mm-hmm. And when I tell you, Ash, I used to be walking up and down the line spazzing out. Like, I'm big in this place.
Yeah.
I'm like, I really used to spaz out because I felt contained.
Yeah.
But then once I shut up, got humbled, and then I started just doing my job, then that's when the opportunities started opening up. But like you said, I believed in myself and my talents, and then that's when things started to open up. And even to this day, like you said, I've accomplished a lot, but I still feel like I haven't done nothing yet.
Yeah.
So still always reaching. For more.
I mean, that's the thing about it, is like, I want people to understand that when you feel as though that you've accomplished that one goal, okay, well, what goal do you have next after that one? Okay, and what's next? What are you building on next? You can't just have that one goal and that be it, because you will plateau real quick. Real quick.
It's a foundation,
Right.
And one thing I think that I do well that I have to encourage others to do is celebrate the small victories.
Yeah.
When I went through that situation in college, I realized that it's not the big picture, right? But it's the small pieces within that picture that makes a big picture. So you have to focus on the details and all the little things to get the big picture. And that's just like a goal, right? You may want to be this top celebrity chef, this podcast that has over 1 million viewers, but you have to build it.
Yeah.
Build it. Yeah. And now I've recently been understanding that we as humans have a misconception of time. If tomorrow, Ashley, everybody who hears this podcast, when the podcast released, begin to start hearing about me, mm-hmm. and then like I blow up, they're gonna be like, man, he's an overnight success.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't see those 10 years, mm-hmm. 11 years when I contemplated quitting, struggle. You never see that part, but people think you're overnight success, but there's a lot of work.
Yeah.
That went into that, With Drake said, he wasn't there shooting free throws. He wasn't at the gym shooting free throws. No. Of course I could hit the three-pointer for the game winner on the championship, because I was in the gym shooting these free throws while you was at the club partying or,
exactly.
wasting time doing something else. So, yeah.
And I love the fact that you said that, because that is really the cornerstone of this podcast and what it has become and how it's built. Because like you said, somebody randomly, finds a podcast. Oh my gosh, this is a great show. I really love the brand, everything that they're doing. And all this is, they just came out of nowhere. No. I'm like, are you serious? Okay, I've got a bachelor's degree in communications. I've got over 10 years of broadcast experience. On top of that, it's years and years and years of building on something. And sometimes, most of the time, life is not going to be a straight and narrow. It's not going to be a road map that is completely to your goal. It's going to be straight and narrow. There's going to be no challenges, no issues, no tragedy. There's going to be so much to distract you in this life that is trying to deter you from your purpose. And I think that some people will get they get down or they get depressed about their situation or whatever they're going through, and they think that that's all they can see and they'll never get out of that situation. That's not true. I'm sure you've got 10 million stories of things that have happened to you while you're still pursuing this dream. And you're going to have, everyone is going to have down days. You're going to have days that you're not going to feel your greatest. But guess what? You got to keep pushing on. You got to keep pushing forward. And that's really what I want people to get out of these shows. So when y'all download the shows, I want you to know this is possible. Chef Kenneth is telling you, okay, it was not overnight. He didn't just start cooking yesterday, okay? That's not when it happened.
yeah. And you know, with social media, like everybody's a chef.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
You know, everybody's a chef, everybody's a host, everybody's an Instagram model, everybody got money.
Yeah.
Look, man, like my Instagram, all my social media feeds is at Kenneth Temple _. Like we ain't got all day to be jumping in the chef realm and da. And the reason why I do that, it's not Chef Gordon Ramsay. It's not Chef Thomas Keller. It's not Chef Bobby Flay. It's Thomas Keller, Emeril Lagasse, Gordon Ramsay, Kenneth Temple.
Yeah.
You know him by your name, but also by what you do. So I want people to know the Kenneth Temple brand as opposed to just being a chef guy. You know, I have desires to do inspirational speaking and motivational talk just because I feel like I got something to say, and I know life is a challenge, you know, and I'm here to tell you it ain't going to be easy. Like, one of my influences is a guy named Grant Cardone. Grant says, get some new problems. Get some new problems. Elevate and then get some new problems. Another one of my influences is Chef Jeff Henderson, who has a phenomenal story about overcoming life and what he went through, and to the fact of going from his situation to being a New York Times best-selling author, being on the Food Network, et cetera, and having a personal relationship with him. And he's telling me, like, Kenny, you my legacy.
Wow.
That means a lot to me. Like, that means what you've already started, I need to carry on.
Yeah.
And what you went through to get here has to continue. And I want you to be able to sit back watching TV one day and see me on TV and be like, man, look at Kenneth doing his thing. But it's not going to come without the tests, the distractions, and me just having to buckle down and realize what I really want and fighting for it. Like, people nowadays get mad at you if you fight. I mean, of course, it's all on World Star YouTube for fight, but you really have to fight for what you want in this world, because it's not handed to you. I mean, like, I deal with celebrity clients, you know, NBA, NFL, politicians, CEOs, Grammy artists. I travel the world doing culinary demos with cooking. Any day, one of those clients could get traded away. Or it could be like, Chef, I'm done with your services. Like, what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
Cry?
You got to keep trucking.
Call my network. Do you know anybody who need a private chef? What you know? Because I deal with people who have respect in the industries that they're in, who are known for being hard workers. So I want to affiliate myself with people like that. And, you know, like you said, to keep pushing, you need to get somebody who's where you want to be and watch what they're doing and ask them their story. Because if you think Beyonce, one of the biggest stars on the world, Lil Wayne, one of the biggest superstars in the world, which I had the pleasure of cooking for Lil Wayne, and have literally been like a pinky hair. That's how small I've been close to cooking for Beyonce. When it's time, it'll happen. But if you think these people achieve what they've achieved without any distractions, any tests, any challenges, pinch yourself and wake up, because that's not the real world. Like, matter of fact, when you get in the bigger light, you have more problems, because now everybody know who you are, not just your 2,000 followers on Instagram. Like, millions of people worldwide are watching it. So you need those challenges in life to build up that backbone for you to be able to handle where you're going. And some of us make it, some of us don't.
Yeah, that's the reality of it. That is
I plan on you being the ones who make it.
That's it. It's happening. I'm already claiming it, baby. I got it and you got it. Guess what? We gonna beat up there at the top. I'm like, hey, Chef Kenneth.
What's happening, Ashley? You know, and like I said, to push, and sometimes doors closed that you wanted open, you gotta bust open the door. Like, I started doing my live streaming show on Facebook Live every Tuesdays at 7:30 Central. Like tonight, like I'm already prepping. I got a storyboard after this podcast so I can do it, but I feel like I want to do media. Well, I didn't think I had the prettiest kitchen, but I turned it on its head and started calling it the Trap Kitchen. But since there's the young brothers in LA who already have coined that phrase, I switched it over to Hunger Trap. So I play trap music. I have guests. I cook some real food that you can duplicate and knock off at your house. I send out the recipes to all of my subscribers who go to my website at chefkennethtemple.com, and then I send out the recipes, and then I'm just building my audience and letting people know, because not everybody can afford my private chef services, but that don't mean you can't afford my entertainment. skills.
This is true.
My inspiration skills. So let me give you some content. Let me entertain you. Let me interact with you. Let me vibe with you. And we all have some fun. And it's just a great thing to do. And sometimes you got to use what you have to get where you're going.
This is true.
You know what I mean? I live stream off my iPhone. Like, I don't have a top-notch camera yet, but I'm going to get one. But it's stepping stones, It's show yourself approved in one area, then you can go. Life is test. Either you pass or you fail. If you pass, you move on. You fail, you got to repeat until you pass. That's personal, spiritual, physical, financial. You got to pass the test to move on. And most of us start crying that we ain't graduating from high school and we still in the 7th grade.
Chef Kenneth, we can go up on a soapbox on that for a while, but I want to jump into next weekend. You in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? Next weekend is y'all's biggest weekend of the summer, Essence Fest. Chef Kenneth, what you gonna be involved in? I know you're gonna be involved in some stuff. What's going on?
I'll be floating around. You're right. I'll be involved. So I'm actually waiting on my sponsors to give me the date, but I'll be on the Essence Each stage Saturday or Sunday. Doing Chipotle, fried chicken, and chocolate waffles with a rum sauce. So I'm going to demonstrate how to do chicken and waffles with a little twist. Somebody in the audience is going to get pulled up on stage. And I also told I got to have samples. So just make sure, if you ever see me doing a live cooking demonstration, the best thing for you to do is respond. Because in New Orleans, we have call and response in all our music. What's the name of your school? Tell me where you're from. Like, you're supposed to respond back. So I'm always paying attention to the people in the audience who are interacting with me because that's who I'm going to feed. If you're just standing up there staring at me, please don't rush the stage when it's time for food to come up. I'm going to take care of my people who's been having fun, who's been interacting with me this whole time, and then I feed them and take care of them. So if you ever catch me live, please just interact with me, and I'll guarantee I'll make sure you get a plate. Even if it's the plate that I was going to eat, because I'm starving. I'll make sure you get it just because it's going to be some fun. And Ash, if I catch it in the crowd.
I'm telling you, you're going to see both hands. I'm Chef Kenneth. It's me. It's Ash. AshSaidIt.com. It's me, Chef. You're going to see me in green because, that's my color. That's my theme color. It's green. So you're going to see me in green.
All I'm going to say is, see, that's how you do. That's how you market and brand. You walk up, you scream, Chef Kenneth, it's me. It's AshSaidIt.com. See how you just branded herself? Just all in the audience.
All day. They know it. They love it.
Come on and try this chicken. Yeah, that's how it works, though, right? You have to find a way to draw attention to yourself so people can have some intrigue in you or not. Like, but at least you check me out.
Hey, get it. All right, okay. So with all your experience and everything that you've gone through to get to this point to where you're booking major athletes, Grammy Award winners, executives, and everybody else throughout the whole realm of the world. With all your experience and everything that you've gone through thus far, what advice can you offer to any up-and-coming culinary aspirant, someone that wants to be a chef?
I would say continue to work on your craft. Anything that you think you know, there's always another level of improvement, and there's always something else that you can tighten. This culinary game is becoming highly saturated like everything else because of social media. But the thing that's going to keep you head and above tails of everybody else is your personality. Your personality will speak long before your food do. And even if your food is great, but your personality sucks, people's not going to want to deal with you. So as part of dealing on your culinary side, also work on your network, work on your people skills and just who you know. Like I said, if there's somebody who you see, like if what you think I'm doing is inspiring, like reach out to me and, chop it up. I may be skeptical because you're reaching out at me in my DM, but I am interactive and I will talk back to you. And just go ahead and keep pushing, man. Just know that there's more to just being there's more to just being a chef than being a restaurant chef. I have a friend who just got his food science degree, who's working for this big company that Tyson just bought out. And he just got promoted, and he wanted to always be a research and development chef, and he's living his dream. I always wanted to be a private chef. I'm living my dream. But when you're a chef, first question everybody asks you is, when you open up a restaurant, 93% restaurants closed in their first year because your same friends who told you they was coming to support, they don't come to support. So you just know your skills, know your skill set, know what you're good at, but do you. Don't try to be doing what others are doing. Find inspiration from that and add to who you are, because soul food, every culture has soul food, and the difference that make your soul food different from my soul food is your passion that you put into that dish. There was once a science experiment. 24 chefs, same ingredients. I'm talking about down to the bowls, to the whisk, to everything that they use for making mayonnaise. Each mayonnaise tastes different because of the chemistry of that individual, of what they put into that dish. So learn your people skills, tighten up on your skills, and find somebody who's doing what you want to do. And don't latch on aggressively, but latch on by paying respect and homage to what they've done so far and the reason why you're doing it. And you never know that relationship you might have. Like I said, my relationship with Chef Jeff was crazy how it happened. It started from a friend tagging me in a Facebook post asking me if I want to work on a cooking show. And the rest is history.
Wow. Chef Kenneth Temple. Chef, let everybody know the best way they can get in contact with you. They need to reach you, or they want to stalk you, because I know everybody going to be trying to figure out who you are and where you are next.
Yes, all stalking can be done on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at Kenneth Temple _. Ashley, you going to spell my name when they see this?
Yeah, I'll spell it right.
Right, so it's KennethTemple. I used to think I had a simple name and people started butchering it. And you can also find me on Facebook. Just hit your search button and go to Hunger Trap, spelled how it sounds, Chef Kenneth Temple, and go ahead on and hit the like button on that page. And if you catch this and you set a timer, come chime in on a Tuesday and you'll get to see me doing my thing. I'm on Snapchat at Mr. Dinner Party, but look, with all these other social medias, I gotta box down with some of them. Like, I can't be stretched out that thin. All right, look. So yes, that's where you can find me. Or my website is chefkennethtemple.com. Southern Creole recipes from my New Orleans home cookbook coming out August 17th, summer 17. I got my spice line coming. I got T-shirts on the map. Hey, building the brand here.
Keep it
Can't
coming.
start a podcast because Ash got that spot on.
No. But that's why it's like you said, it's the open realm for anybody. Anyone can start a podcast. You know, it ain't gonna be like my podcast, but you know what I'm saying. Everybody got their own flavor to bring to the table. You know what I'm saying. You know this. You are a mess, Kenneth. It's been a pleasure speaking with you today. We got to get you on a, next on the list. We're gonna have to put comic on your title, because you had me sitting up here cracking up the whole time. But
thank you for having me.
Definitely, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys for downloading the show. Thank you so very much. Keep in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face and tell them, don't believe me, just watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history, because that's what we're doing this for. We're doing this for the history books. Social media is nice, it's cool, it's fun, but real life is so much better. I'll holler at y'all later. Deuces.